may think that thing looks human, but we're created in the Lord's image. You don't think that's what the Lord looks like, do you?
I wanted the creature to be of a different shape and a different color than any other amphibian creature ever made. So I said, let's be very pure on the beginning and do the creatures purely from a sculptural point of view.
It was such a privilege for me to be privy to the designs and seeing Guillermo with the color and seeing those drawings come to life, and it's breathtaking.
The sculpting of the creature and the design, I financed it myself. I spent hundreds of thousands designing the creature before we started the process because I wanted to take over a year to do it. It needed to be very attractive, a creature you could fall in love with.
He employed the services of Legacy Effects, one of the biggest creature shops in LA, and the artistry of Mike Hill, one of his favorite artists ever.
Mike does characters, those living creatures. He has a connection with monsters that is uncanny. I thought we need that level of insight.
During my conversations with Guillermo, he showed me some maquettes and some designs that I already had done and asked me my thoughts. And, well, this thing has to be attracted to a woman. This lady falls in love with it. My directive was I wanted to make him handsome.
The design they came up with, my lips are a little fuller, strong jawline. The body they sculpted on me is very athletic. He's handsome in a fish-like way.
The difficulty with this creature is you're not sculpting a creature, you're sculpting a character, a lead character. They didn't sculpt a creature, they created an actor. This is great, this is fantastic. On this sort of galaxies, I would put some of these guys.
Got it, you got it.
Legacy did a study of colors, and I wanted it to be black. Thematically, that was important, but also in terms of the Amazon and the river, mud, fish. Everything in the blue, the sculpture is not there, but it will get it.
Guillermo is very particular about what he wants. He wanted these blue striping, and he wanted these gold and coppers on there. So I kept all the elements he wanted, but trying to make it to look like it was something that you might see washed up on the shore of a beach.
Because I thought it's important we combine the language of amphibian, the one that looked more like a salamander, which is black and yellow and blue.
I thought it would be a really interesting in-camera technique to use UV light and UV light paint, and then it kind of produces that bioluminescent glow that sea creatures have.
On an opaque suit like this, a lot of people, when they see it light up, they think there's light bulbs in there somewhere. But it's really not, and it works wonderful.
As makeups go, a head-to-toe transformation, this is a quick one. They've got it down to 2.5 hours now. That's ridiculously fast for this much of a transformation.
It's a very sophisticated full-body makeup. We've tried to design it to be as flexible and organic and have different materials to create the illusion of something that's much more fleshy than it really is.
The only part that is actually glued to me are under goggles, the little rings that go around here that are attached to a helmet, but they get glued here. Then the eyes go in without pupils in them at all, so I can see out of those. And those are interchangeable with magnets. A great design that I've never had before.
Yeah, come on out.
For funny's sake.
When I saw the creature for the first time, the fins and the gills and the scales, it's remarkable. You really do believe you're looking at a real-life merman.
Within the realm of this production, you add stuff to the creature that doesn't have to be digitally augmented, but gives it life. And the gills, they call out for some sort of visible motion. You know, even the original creature from the Black Lagoon had bladder-driven gills in a couple shots, and it, you know, you remember those moments, and it's only for a few shots in that film, but your mind says his gills are working. And they've been challenging because we deal with a lot of water.
When I get into the water, I am a sponge, right? So I get in and I'm kind of buoyant and like it's like throwing a raft on a lake. But once the water starts to seep in, I become a wet sponge. So getting out of the water, I weigh 70 pounds more than I did when I got in.
This incredible strength of him, mental and physical, and the way he's able to do what he does in that suit that is, for the majority of time, water-laden. His movement is so extraordinary. You do forget that it's a human being in there.
I asked Doug to join the movie because he is an actor. He's not a performer. And if you don't have an actor inside that suit, you don't have a movie.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Doug, who's playing him, is just incredibly three-dimensional. I mean, he brings real life to this creature. You know, you start to think there's real intelligence there.
Marker? My favorite moment in the movie is when he kills Strickland, because he moves like a god. And then he looks at him die, like, interesting. And then he turns to Sally and he goes, and it's amazing. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful close-ups I could ever shot. It's like an animal and a god, and it's just magical. Don't go quite big. Stay cautious. This creature is a presence. He needed to have a very strong ancient energy, and Doug got it.
Guillermo gave me the best notes. He says, he's a combination. You played the Silver Surfer. He's part Silver Surfer, part Matador.
And then Dougie turns around, gets up slowly. Richard is looking at him. I said to Doug, you're gonna stand like a toreador. Very masculine in the way they find their center.
Doug is so gifted. He brings the character to life in such beautiful, subtle ways. It's easy to believe that this creature really exists.
If you look at his performance, with Sally, the first encounter, he is just guarded underwater. And then he comes out and he wants to kill her because she moved, you know? And then he's reflective, and then he's sweet. It's really remarkable.
I don't like that, right?
No. And then you go, this is great, look at her.
We have a communication that is visual, which is just gorgeous to explore how much communication happens without verbal dialogue.
We express so much through our body language, but it's rare for a film to capture that, for it to translate. It's amazing how far it goes.
You've got this wonderful performer in Doug Jones. That's an amazing creature design and execution from Legacy Effects on the suit. Guillermo wants to do things to enhance those performances in that creature.
From the beginning, I knew that we were gonna have to do digital suit fixes, digital spinal dorsal fin, and digital upper face, and in some instances, lower face.
Since I can only express from here down, this part might need computer animation to express a little bit with subtle movements that help with the frightened or with the angered or with soft love.
We're capturing a lot of his expressions using the latest technology, photogrammetrically scanning him with hundreds of cameras at the same time, and then digitally we'll just enhance it, tweak it to bring it to the level that Guillermo wants.
This is something we had tried on Pan's Labyrinth and the Hellboy, the blinking of Abe, the blinking of the Fawn, and it's what works the best because you don't want to have the thickness that the servo controllers, the cables need. You want a very thin makeup, but at the same time you want the expressivity of the blinking.
When you have visual effects and practical effects brought together, that's a great marriage of both mediums. It's perfect.
Doggy, action!
Guillermo Del Toro remains a champion of practical creature effects. If he has the creature in his movie, he wants it to be a real one.
His want of it wanting to be super refined, it's infectious. No matter how hard it might seem sometimes, we just keep trying to make it good for him.
When he sees something that is working, he embraces it, and that's been really rewarding for us as artists. It's turning out to be quite a team effort.
That's a wrap on Sally and Doggy.
When you see those dailies and you see what Guillermo's got in mind, you just write, this man's just correct. He's a genius, and you know what? You're in his hands when he's going to make you look good.
His perfectionism makes me a perfectionist as well. I want to make it right. I want to create a moment on film that will last forever, and he's that director that can make immortal things happen on film.